I've met a guy who moved here with less than 100 US dollars. It worked out,
How did it
but
work out for him?
uh, he, he he hustled.
Yes.
He
Okay.
hustled. He had a lot of grit.
Okay.
But I've also met a lot of guys who move here with as much money as I have who end up going home too.
Yes.
So like for my first year, uh, I didn't need to work. Actually, for like my first 2.5, almost 3 years, I rang my own bell sometimes and paid for it. I just didn't need to. I did it because I was bored. I've
Mm.
always thought that I will probably never retire.
I would feel the same as
Um,
well.
I
Unmatched.
like doing something.
Mm.
I know guys here that do absolutely nothing every single day except drink or just watch movies and Netflix, and they're
Uh,
happy with that. That's cool. That's up to them. I can't do
mm.
that. My father is in his mid 80s, as I mentioned, and still works. He owns a bunch, I think like 20 now,
Really?
of car dealerships in Florida, and most of his job is on the phone. But he helps manage and run those still to this
Yes.
day. He's one of those people that I think if he ever just people are like, "Oh, you should just retire and just." That's not
Just
him.
relax, just do nothing.
That I
Yeah.
can't do that.
No, no,
And
no, no.
when I came here, I wasn't working. I was just spending money and partying every day. I'm like, this is boring. So the bar did give me something to do. Now, when I got into the news, I had spent most of my money over several years. Um, and during COVID, and I've shared this with a few people, my income became very, very restricted with the bars closed, with the news just kind of having started up seriously, without me having that savings I had relied on before. And I'll get back to your question of what people should have. Um, During COVID, I was living on like 500 baht a day. And by the way, 500 baht a day is about normal, but I was like forced to. Is about normal for people that don't drink that much, don't smoke. I don't smoke at all, never have. I don't vape. I don't use cannabis, which is decriminalized here in common. So I save money on all those things. And I eat mostly 7-Eleven or Thai food carts. I don't often eat, although I went to Prime Burger yesterday. I had a great burger, but I don't often eat at like mid-range restaurants.
Mm.
So yeah, you do that, you can do 500 baht a day. But during
Yes.
COVID, I would do like 100 to 200 baht a day sometimes, just very tight on money.
Yeah.
So number one, have a plan. Have a plan for your money or have a plan for where it comes from. Savings. I'm now back at the point where I'm actually saving money again because, before COVID hit, like many people around the world, I just thought it was a never ending, my money was just coming in every month. All these businesses were doing great. There was absolutely, we saw no way whatsoever that this income could stop. And it fucking stopped for everybody. Worldwide, I know so many
Mm.
people struggled. But as a foreigner in Thailand, I know many people in some Western countries got, especially some Scandinavian countries, got some real. I don't know what the UK did. I don't think much. Got some really nice government monies back
Mm.
for
Yeah.
losing
I
their
had
job.
like 20 grand to keep my business going. 25, 20, well,
That's
20 or
that's a lot
25.
better than I
Yeah, yeah,
thought.
yeah.
The
Mm.
U.S. gave a couple $1,000s. It wasn't great,
Mm.
and Thailand gave 7,000 baht, not to foreigners,
And that was for the whole duration.
pretty much.
Oh, okay.
There
Interesting.
were some things for some bigger companies and stuff, but
Mm.
for the average person. So my point is this: people come here and you don't have a lifeline in Thailand. You've got to have strong willpower. You've got to have an escape plan if needed, money if there is an emergency to leave. I cannot stress this enough. I'm going to sound like your father here to people in comments, but for the love of God, have fucking health insurance. Like I said, I've never had a health issue here, knock on wood, but I have. I mean, I have a work permit and work visa, so I have the Thai health insurance regardless.
Mm.
But have health insurance, have options. Even if it's a Thai insurance, you should have others too. But have insurance and have options. Um, Keep yourself busy if you come to Thailand. Do not just come here and go to the clubs and the girls and the drinking every single day. I have many hobbies reading, video games. I still like news itself. I'm a big horror movie buff. I'm getting into uh, collections and collectibles and things like that too. So
What
there's
sort of
just,
collectibles?
some people would call them action figures, but
Okay.
collectibles,
Ah,
yes.
interesting.
So there's different hobbies and things. My biggest hobby is probably video games. It just helps me relax. mostly RPGs. Baldur's Gate 3 was fantastic. Avowed is getting mixed reviews, but I'm going to try that next soon. And Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, things like that that you probably have no interest in. But anyways, yeah, just to give people an idea.
Yes, thank you.
Have hobbies.
Mm.
My other hobby is walking, and that's how I stay fit. I don't like lifting. I don't like the gym, even though Rage Fight Academy, the news is associated with it. I'm not into lifting. I'm not into gym classes. So I walk. I walk everywhere. I walk an average of 10 to 15,000 steps a day.
Why should they choose Thailand? What if they're thinking about coming to Thailand or anywhere else? Why should they specifically choose Thailand? What are some of the reasons you feel?
Honestly, I think that can be a tricky question because I don't think Thailand is for everybody. I don't. I think the culture shock and the way of living, that's why I started with having a lifeline for it. Having been here and going into my 12th year now, and coming here at a fairly young age, there were I made so many mistakes, so many errors. There were some I didn't make that are quick ways to go back home. Never, ever get a fucking overstay. Be here legal. Have health insurance for emergencies. If you drive, I don't drive at all. I don't drive a motorbike. I walk. I love walking. And part of the news is I see what you guys don't every day. I see, and I've seen it in person, the uncensored, unedited photos. It's part of our job every day because our reporters just take photos of what's in the field. I see the bloodied photos of people mashed into pieces on the pavement every day. So that makes me not want to do it. So don't drive drunk. And if you do drive, learn how to do it before you come here. This is a completely different aspect of driving in the UK and other countries. It's very not defensive. It's very offensive driving. Stay the fuck away from drugs. I can't tell you how many people here, get addicted to illegal drugs or get involved with it or think that's a way to stay here and make money. And I have acquaintances of mine who have ended up in the prisons and stuff here.
It was just after the final lockdown.
Yeah.
And I was getting, I do have a work permit, but I didn't have one in the lockdown because it's expensive and there's absolutely no point. So it was January, I think somebody grasped me up. But it was January 2021 and I'm walking down side 7. Next thing I know, I got busted by about 10 immigration officers.
Yeah.
Like for working without a work permit. I'm like, hang on, I spoke to you last week. I'm sorting one out, or what? And then they sort of got, I probably shouldn't say this, but they didn't lock me up in a cell or anything like that. They put me in their offices. And there was some news agencies contacting me saying, don't arrest him. He does really good for Thailand. He's a YouTuber. And they actually ended up letting me go. Yeah. But I'm going to go deep into that story in my book. I can't go into it now. I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. Totally.
But yeah, it's just something like that.
Yeah.
And this actually, in a way, this actually did good for me because you get to know these people. Then you get to know people within the system. So yeah, I don't know if I think somebody grasped me up. I wasn't even working. I was walking down the street, and I do have a work permit, but I'm thinking, do I need a work permit because I don't actually work? I'm going to be in another country and I'm controlling things from my phone. So in my opinion, I don't really need one, but I do have one because I do want to pay taxes and we pay. I want to be in the system as well. But at that point, just after the lockdowns, I wasn't.
Yes.
And I kept saying, I'm sorting mine. They're like, don't worry, Nick. Next thing, bang.
So with traveling to Thailand, why did you choose Thailand to come back after 10 years?
I tell you what, originally because in 2005 to 2008, I lived here. I was a scuba diver instructor.
Yeah.
I'm a master scuba instructor, and I lived in Pattaya. I just split up in a relationship, like 6-year relationship.
Okay.
I was living in Manchester. My girlfriend was half Thai, half English, but she was really totally English. I speak more Thai than her. And
you met her here or England?
No, in England.
Okay.
Yeah, in England. And we lived together for like 6 years. She's a professor now.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to say what university, but it's in South Asia.
What's she do? It's professor for what?
It's environmental science.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Global warming crap.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what she does now. And we split up, and we used to scuba dive a lot around the world. We used to go on vacation, on holidays, um, Egypt, Sri Lanka. We went to all these places, even Thailand. And I thought, right, I want to be a scuba instructor. I wanted time out. And I Googled it. Right, I just did a Google back about 2004. I could just Google, which is probably quite new at the time. Best place to learn to become a scuba dive instructor in the world, and it come up with Pattaya, Thailand.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Ah.
it was a place, Mermaids Dive Centre, CDC Centre. So I went there, and it was a 6-month course, but I made it last for 2 years. I got injured. You know, I wasn't getting out on enough dives because you were out drinking, you know, just being a normal lad.
Okay.
But I managed to get through it, and then I went and lived in Phi. And then the collapse of 2008 came, and my dad had a big heart attack, and my mum and dad said, "Can you go back home?" So I went back home. That was in 2008, and I didn't come back for another. Well, I came back, but I came back to live another 8 years later. Want to settle things over there.
Okay. Ah. Tell me why you continue to live in Thailand.
I love Thailand. I love everything about it. I love the culture. I love the people. I think the people once you get to know the Thais, they're quite, you know, they're quite deep. They're very communal people. The Thais are. Don't piss them off, because then you're gonna have problems. But they're quite. I like the way the Thais are with the sort of. They're very nice to you. You know, I don't think Thais, unless you piss them off, Thais haven't got a bad bone in them. I love the food here, and I particularly love the food in Pattaya. People ask me, I'll make videos say if I've done a breakfast or a steak or something. I wouldn't go to Thailand and eat foreign food. I'll be eating Thai food. It's like, shut up. Look, right, you come here for 2 weeks of the year. I live here all the time.
Yes.
And one of the reasons what is good about Pattaya is the food on offer is insane.
Yes.
You know, people say about London or New York, whatever, cosmopolitan. No, he is more cosmopolitan than any of them countries, and everybody gets on with it here. Everybody, you know, somebody from say Turkey will bring their own Turkish kebab. Somebody from Argentina, whatever, you know, around the world, and they might meet a Thai girl, so they bring their own culinary.
What other countries have you been to that compare to Thailand?
What compare? I've been to quite a few countries, but none of them feel like Thailand to me. Even like Laos, I've been to, that didn't feel so much like Thailand. They're all good. They're all good in their own way. I love America for the theme parks and the food. I love
Yes.
Australia for, like, you know, the long road trips and the beaches and stuff like that. And then there's a few places I still want to go to, but I like different places for different reasons.
Yeah. See, Thailand, like the atmosphere, the value for money, and just the general vibe, the freedom. Yeah, it's number one for me. It's number
Same.
one so far. So far, like I went to Japan, and like the vibe was like just not very timid. The people. So the only place that the next best place I would choose would be Vietnam.
Vietnam.
I
Yeah.
really like Vietnam. I
Yeah,
really
I've
like the
heard good
culture.
things.
Really like the culture. I've only been to Hanoi, but yeah, where would you choose?
I do want to check out Vietnam. I do want to check out Japan and Korea. And then after that, I did want to go South America, but I didn't want to go there on my own. I think it's good to go there with some friends. You know what I mean? If I had a group of friends, I'd go.
Yeah, and that's another thing about Thailand. Like, I've been here for 2 years, and like it's not seems it is so much safer. And like you go out in England,
Definitely.
there's always a scrap,
Yeah.
give or take. There's always
Like, I
you know.
definitely feel safer walking around Bangkok in the middle of the night than Birmingham. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. And the people at home wouldn't believe that. They would probably think we're talking out of that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because that's that's just the programming for some reason that they've brought into, but it feels like one of the safest places.
Yeah. Definitely.
What are some of the other like pros, the great things about Thailand?
Great things about Thailand. It depends if you're living here or on a holiday, but some of the great things is, yeah, you've got the freedom. I'm trying to think of something that's not obvious. 'Cause usually when someone asks me this, I'm like, yeah, you got the freedom, you got the food, the nightlife. Some of the other great things is, it's just like for me, it's just a change from the norm, and the ability of being able to just go to a different part of Thailand and just, if I was like in England and I was like go to Manchester and then I go to Birmingham, it still feels like I'm in England, but it feels like
Yeah.
if I go to Chiang Mai and then I go to Phuket or Koh Phi Phi, it feels like, you know, the difference of these beautiful islands and those like mountains up there is such a contrast. Whereas like other places just seem like pretty flat. Do you know what I mean?
A couple of the things that spring to my mind is like there's no really like judgment or like racism or
Yeah, you can be who
like
you want.
prejudice.
Yeah, you can be
Do
who
you
you
know?
want here.
There's so much like so friendly and pleasant to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And also massages.
Yeah.
Like it's like 10 times.
I do love getting my back cracked, you know, and they just do all the Thai
Yeah,
massage.
my
stuff.
favorite is when like you're sitting in like a cross-legged position and they get the elbows.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it feels good.
heaven to me.
Like in England, like and like if you want to go for a massage in England, like you pay like stupid price. You go here,
Yeah,
it's so cheap and it's so accessible, just like outside your door. Like, oh, just go and pay like 300 baht, get my back cracked in the morning. Like
yeah.
you'd never be able to do that so easy, like in another country.
Unless you got a full bank account.
Pretty much, yeah.
So the standard of living that you can get here compared to Western
It's
countries.
everything's just so
Food.
easy here. Don't
Food,
you
yeah,
think? Like,
yeah.
whatever
just
you
a
want to do,
ch-
it's easy. I think obviously you've got the money and the freedom. Like
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
Where else in Thailand would you live if Pattaya wasn't a all gold?
The other place that I really like, I like Bangkok. That's cool. I wouldn't mind living there, but I like Koh Phangan. Have you
I
been there?
love Koh Phangan.
I love it
Yes.
there. Like I've been to all of the islands, and that one's my favorite. I think, you know, it's got parties there all throughout the week. There's always something going on.
Full moon party.
Yeah, I prefer the half moon
Oh,
party.
really?
Yeah,
Why is that?
because it's more of like an event, and they've got like better sounding, better lighting. They've got world class DJs,
Oh, okay.
and it's like, yeah, it's like full moon party. It's like 200 baht on the beach. Every man and his dog goes. It's,
Yeah.
it's just complete like carnage, but it's like more of like an event in the
Oh, okay.
in the mountain for the
More
half
of a
moon.
niche,
Yeah,
closer
and the
vibe.
music's a bit different.
Got you. Did you go to the jungle party as well?
Yeah, the jungle parties
Yeah.
are cool. Yeah.
I went. That was my like on my first trip. I went to Koh Tao, Koh Phangan, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Bangkok, and that like just took my heart away.
Yeah.
Coming back from Koh Phangan or Koh Tao, I was on the train tearing up.
I don't think
Ramen?
anything will compare to Thailand. I mean, I've got friends that say, aren't you fed up of going there? Why don't you try
Yeah.
somewhere different? I don't want anywhere different.
Yeah.
You know,
Bali?
it doesn't interest me.
No.
No. I always wanted to go to India, but over the years, it's like, and I know I'll never go now, simply because when it gets to holiday time, and I'm thinking, oh, should I go to India? Nah, I'm going to Thailand.
Okay.
Thailand always pulls me back because I know it. You know,
Yeah.
I've had the same taxi driver for 15 years.
Wow. Where else have you? Where was the last country that you went to apart from England or Thailand?
The last country I went to was when I lived in Spain.
And how long ago was that?
18 years ago.
18 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've only been coming from England to Thailand for 18 years?
Yes.
Wow.
But I've been coming to Thailand for 38 years. So
Yeah.
I came 38 years ago.
Yeah. But there's no other country that you've been to apart from England and
Yeah,
Thailand. For
I used
18
to live
years.
in
Wow.
Spain. And
That says a lot.
yeah. So, yeah, some people say, oh, you're crazy, try somewhere else. I don't want to try. And this is, you could say this is my second home.
Yes.
I would much prefer it to be my first.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
haven't got that set up back home to be able to transfer over here. But yeah, people will never realize until they come here.
So when would you like, or when are you planning, if you are planning to move over here full time?
I don't know if I can.
No, got
I
you.
don't know if I can.
Yeah.
I mean, I say I come here every year for 2 months. Not last year, the year before. Business was a bit slow,
Okay.
so I jumped on a plane over here for a month.
Ah,
So, yeah, I mean, if my fortunes change,
Mm.
yes,